This is a happening extra, and I'm Brian Osuch. I think it's safe to say most of us care about the planet we live on, but let's break this down. 86% of Gen Z think they're recycling plastic. 79% of millennials think they're recycling plastic. I'm Gen X. I think I recycle plastic every time I throw it into that blue bin. That may not be the case, so says Felipe Cousteau. He's an oceanographer and environmental activist. Thanks for coming on Happening.
Brian, thanks for having me.
Felipe, what do you mean we think we're recycling plastic, but we actually aren't?
Well, unfortunately, a lot of the plastic that we put into those blue bins doesn't actually get recycled. It ends up in landfills or the ocean. And, 8 out of 10 Americans are really concerned, are engaged in this problem. They're recycling, they're doing the work every day, but the system itself isn't working right.
That definitely seems like it. I did a little digging around and discovered 33 billion tons of garbage is released into the ocean every single year. That's the equivalent of two giant garbage trucks packed with plastic being released into the ocean every minute of every day. What could we be doing differently?
Well, of course, there's the things that we as individuals can do, right? That we always like to do at home: reusable water bottles, reusable, bags, etc. But we also need a scalable solution to this problem, and that's what the Zuzu movement is all about. So I've teamed up with an adorable hermit crab that actually ended up using plastic for its shell, and then went on an extraordinary journey to understand how we can fix this system, and that's the Zuzu movement. And the whole idea is to bring consumers together to sign a petition in order to tell the federal government that we need consistent legislation to fix recycling. It's called Extended Producer Responsibility, EPR legislation. And what it does is it brings producers of plastic, the companies, brings municipalities, individuals, and requires everybody to play their part so that we can scale the solution. It's a problem everybody cares about, but solutions exist. And that's the good news, especially these days when it feels like we're surrounded by problems. This is something we can fix.
Felipe, I watched the video and I saw little Zuzu go all around the world. And the very ending, I'm not going to ruin it for viewers, but we get to see the power of recycling and how important it really is. And it was reflected with one big name brand that we know, which was SC Johnson. But this is really about all those big power players in the world of plastics, right? So EPR legislation is taking it out of the consumer's hands and putting a spotlight on big brands that we know that create household products.
Historically, the plastic recycling issue has really been pushed on to consumers as their responsibility. But what EPR legislation does is it brings together companies that actually produce that plastic to ensure that it is recyclable, brings municipalities and requires them to provide systems that actually recycle the plastic and don't just put it in the landfill, so that everybody plays their part and we can scale that solution. And that's what joinzuzu.com is all about. It's a place where consumers can take action today, right now, to go and sign that petition, to send a strong message to Congress that even in these divisive times, this is an issue that every American cares about across the political spectrum. We can all come together and solve recycling and fix the system.
Felipe, I live in New York City and we just recently mandated curbside composting. So, New Yorkers, we think we're doing our part. And I'm sure there are plenty of communities all across the country that think they're doing their part. But you say that's not working and that we need to be doing something much bigger.
The main beats we want people, the movement again is about telling the story of this hermit crab to make this, a fun and approachable issue and a challenge that people can learn about. And then helping them, through the joinzuzu.com, through the petition, helping the public actually do something, take action right now to say we want a federal approach to recycling and legislation that brings everybody together, creates a level playing field, and that's how we fix the problem. Right now it's piecemeal. Different states have different policies, different things going around. It's just not working.
Felipe Cousteau, thanks for coming on Happening. And where can we go for more information?
joinzuzu.com is the place people can go to take action, right now, and we can come together. It's exciting. Again, I think that which is why I'm involved, because this is an opportunity to fix something, to make something work better.